What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. This video I want to talk about why the narcissists play the victim role. The number one reason why the narcissists play the victim is mainly because you called them out on something and now they feel exposed, which means they have to be held accountable. They refuse to be held accountable for anything that makes them look guilty. So for that reason alone, they pull the victim card. The ways that they use this victim card on you is that they play on your intelligence in hopes that that will shift the conversation away from pointing out where they went wrong at, pointing out their behaviors, or whatever it is that they should be called out for. That's how they play the victim role. And they do that in a way where, say, for example, you know, you tell them that sometimes they just don't consider your feelings. They put you last in everything, you know, they never make you an option. It's all about them all the time. And you're kind of getting fed up with it. So you confront them about this. And you want to see what they have to say in return. And what happens is they just pull crap out of their behind and just start to use the word salad and just be all over the place with their response by bringing up things that don't have nothing to do with it, just to take away from the conversation. If they can fool you that way, then that keeps them from being held accountable, and then they'll start playing a victim role, like if you're wrong for calling them out, or they may say that you're not understanding. You got to understand that they have a lot of things going on. I have a lot on my plate that I'm dealing with. I can't believe that you're doing this, which means holding them accountable, calling them out. I can't believe you're doing this at a time like this. We could have done this another time. You must always make everything about you. They play the victim role in that way. They just want you to feel bad for doing something you have every right to do. I mean, it's no more than right to sometimes question people's behavior, especially when it's affecting you and y'all's relationship. But narcissists, they're so arrogant and they feel untouchable. They feel as though that day will never come. And when it does, that's when you'll start to see them play their victim role. Notice that they will never give you the answer that you're looking for. And they will never give you the answer you need in order to get a better understanding of them, because they don't want you to understand them. Because, of course, if you understand how the narcissists really operate, you would run. You would take off and go in another direction. You would rethink everything about your future together. You would have nothing but regrets when it comes to how far you come with this person. They know how you would think about them if, you know, they allow you to see who they truly are. So they play the victim. It's easier for them to do that than to be called out. They hate being questioned. How dare you question them about, being wrong and doing bad things or making you feel bad. You can tell the narcissist, you know, that they hurt your feelings, just something like that. And they will do everything they can to make you feel like it's your fault that your feelings are hurt, but it has nothing to do with them. They won't take the responsibility for hurting your feelings, even though they've said something cruel and just downright dirty to you to make you feel bad, you know, because that's just the way they are. They're very verbally abusive, and it just sometimes come out of nowhere. And sometimes you just have to let that sizzle in your brain, and you think about it and you think about it and you dwell on it, and you have went back and forth with yourself, wondering, are you overthinking it? Are you just being overly sensitive? They know that you're going to think this way. But the moment that you stand up to them and question them they pull their victim card. Now, that's one of the ways. The second way that they pull the victim card is if, you know, the way they pull the victim card is if they just completely make up scenarios in their mind and they make themselves believe it. And they try to convince you, they will run this situation in the ground trying to convince you that they know what really happened. An example of that is, you know, say they took their car to get serviced and uh, like the mechanic or whatever, the person forgets to put a screw back on the car and some parts start to fall off the car. And if the narc had driven the car long enough without getting it checked, they hear the noises, they know that something is not screwed too tight, so they take it back in to be, serviced again to see that the people did the job right. They catch the problem and they fix it. Or the narcissist take it to someone else, and get a second opinion and they correct the problem of the first mechanic. So the narcissist is not going to live it down the fact that the first shop they took the car to, they were trying to kill them, when that could be the furthest thing from the truth, and they know that. They choose to look at it that way because it serves them better to play the victim role. And they want you to know this story, and they're going to run it in the ground over and over again until you can pretty much mimic every word before it comes out of their mouth, because they have told you this. They brought it up and they tell it to everybody because they must play the victim role. They have to be seen as a victim. Those are the two ways that narcissists play the victim role. A simple mistake that could have went, wrong, it could have been worse, it didn't. And instead of them, focusing more on the good outcome from it, they rather keep the focus on what could have went wrong so that they can continue to hold up their victim card. As long as people can continue to pat them on the back and let them know that it's okay and poor you and it could have, like, why hold on to such, negativity? That is what you call negativity. The reality of it was the problem was never corrected and the situation got worse. Worst case scenario, we already know what that is. They could have ended up in a hospital from a really bad, terrible accident, but it didn't happen. So why keep the focus on the negative side of it rather than the positive outcome of it? Why do they think that way? Because they need to be seen as a victim all the time. The moment they express this to you enough to where you have just had it, like, look, you told this story 1,000 times. You're fine. You came out of it alive. It didn't get worse. You caught it on time. You're good. What's the problem? Now the person should be held accountable. I'm not going to go to them again. I'm going to give their business a bad name. It could have been, probably was a mistake, an innocent mistake. Sometimes people just, their minds all over the place, and it takes away from the professionalism of it all. But it happens. It happens. If their intentions weren't to hurt this customer, what makes you make it all about you? Like it wasn't a personal attack on you. Why would these people have a personal attack on you? Of all the customers, they picked you, the narcissist, so that now you can hold their victim card up and just parade it around so everyone could pay attention to you and give you that attention that you so badly need. And instead of looking at it in a different light, you choose to, you know, keep breathing life into a negative situation. So those are the two reasons why narcissists play the victim role. Thank y'all for watching. Leave your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you soon.